the NFL, because damn it, it is back tomorrow and we are so damn excited. But we also had a very important game on Thursday night, and boy, that was a hell of a Thursday night game for the NFL to kick it off. It was a rematch between the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC. That was the championship game, man. And oh man, there was some fireworks in this one. There were so many different angles of this game. How to check it out. The Kansas City Chiefs were able to come out on top, 27-20. Patrick Mahomes threw for 291 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception, and a QBR of 69.1. Lamar Jackson had himself an interesting game as well, throwing for 26 of 41, 273 passing yards, 16 rushing attempts, and 122 yards, averaging 7.6 carries yards per carry. Man, that is you got to be freaking tired after that one, man. I don't know how the cardio, you can't prepare for that, and plus throwing and have to call the play. So shout out to Lamar Jackson for having some insane amount of cardio. But that really wasn't the whole thing of it, man. G-Mike, what was your takeaways from this game to start it off, man? There was a lot to unpack with this.
Dude, the Ravens came out that first drive just taking the ball down the field and demanding respect from the Chiefs defense, right? And then after that first drive, it was like they went to Derrick Henry. They gave him the ball like 4 or 5 times in that first drive. He ended up scoring at the goal line, at the 3-yard line, and they had great momentum going into their next offensive series. Yes, the Chiefs came out and scored as well, tied the game. But when they come on that next offensive series, it's like their whole dynamic on offense just shifted. They went away from running the ball with Derrick Henry. The offensive line couldn't block for shit. That was the most upsetting thing that I saw the whole game, is that offensive line did not come to play compared to that defensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs. They were getting dogged in the trenches. They weren't doing anything. Lamar Jackson couldn't step back in the pocket for more than 2 seconds to throw the ball, which is why he kept running the ball the whole game, which is why he had 16 carries for 122 yards, because he had a play make and he had to show everybody, I'm going to put this team on my back, because if not, we're going to lose by 2 touchdowns.
Well, the interesting thing, you brought up the offensive line as well. How about that? The NFL enforcing the new offensive line call as well. Everybody always says they always make rules to change for the offense, but the defense needed some help too. And that new rule is going to be a major thing. It was quite annoying, but I understand why they're doing it. How many did Stanley? How many penalties by himself did he get? 7 by himself? So that was a humongous part of this game, is that they could not line up, and every single time they kept on getting negative yardage. So that was a major factor as well. I don't know. The NFL has said to me that they're going to make it an issue to actually start calling that one. So be on the lookout for that this season, that you're going to see a lot more of those calls.
Mm-hmm. No, and the other thing was that they gave so many calls to the Chiefs. It's like the Chiefs are the new New England Patriots with Tom Brady, bro. They're trying to protect Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs so much that it's getting annoying, man. Like, there was so many calls that they could have had against the Chiefs that they didn't call. There was one particular play that the guard and the right guard and the right tackle both face masked the D tackle and the defensive end on the same play, and you saw it on live TV because they stopped it and everything, and they still didn't make the call, man. And there was like 3 times that the right tackle, he false started, and the refs didn't make the call, man. It's just like, dude, like, stop protecting these players and these teams just because they're so great. Call a fair game, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, BC, man, that's a lot to unpack in this game, bro. What's your thoughts?
It really is. I mean, before we go any further, can I just get you to repeat what Mahomes' QBR was for that game? What was it again?
His QBR for the game?
Yeah.
Honestly, 69.1.
Nice. Anyway, that being said, let's repeat that one again.
But he had 20 completions on 28 attempts.
Yeah. I'm going to echo George's sentiments a lot when it comes to the Chiefs and getting favorable calls and everything. I understand it's a very marketable team. Obviously, 2 or 3 Super Bowls in the last 4 years. You've got the best player on the planet. You've got the best tight end on the planet. You got the biggest pop star on the planet is not only a fan of the team, but is also dating the best tight end on the planet. So we get it. They're bringing in the NFL lots of money, and you want to see them succeed, but you don't need to cheapen it by continuing to help them the way you are. You really don't. If they're as great as they say they are, you can call a game down the middle, fair and square, and they should be able to win. And to be honest, like that's what we do see a lot of times with them is that they have what a lot of teams like the Ravens right now do not have: championship pedigree. It's that ability to, even when you're down, even when you're trailing, or even when a team is red hot, they're coming down the score, they keep their calmness, they keep their composure. And even when they scored on that one, they still were able to do just enough, obviously getting them out of the back of the end zone, slightest margin, like you were able to kind of force their hand and they were able to just barely eke it out. They have that calmness, a championship pedigree. So don't cheapen it, refs, for the love of all that is football.
So it sounds like you guys are really that effective that you think the Chiefs didn't necessarily win, that the game was handed to them. Is that how, that's the vibe I'm catching for you guys? Because I think the Chiefs definitely came out there and played.
That's not what we're saying at all. That's not what we're saying at all.
No, it's not that. It's just saying that, like, if you're a ref, like, pay attention. We're just telling the refs, do your job, and that's sad to say, but like you have fans literally been telling the refs since the beginning of time, do your job. That's all we want to see. Do your job, boy.
It's not even that. Like they're doing their job. It's just that when it comes to the Chiefs, they're like acting like they didn't see something on purpose. And it's like, dude, man, like you need to call it fair on both sides, man. Like you can't just be calling it fair for them because they're back-to-back champs and Patrick Mahomes is the next Tom Brady of the era. Yeah, he got 3 Super Bowl champions and all this stuff, but man, it doesn't matter. Call a fair game, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got comments out there saying as well that like it reminds a lot, like you were saying earlier, of the Patriots and how Brady started to seem like he was getting all the calls.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, besides the calls in the game, really, there was definitely some interesting stuff going on too. So you noticed that Lamar Jackson looked a little bit different than he has in the past. Lamar Jackson looked like he was a lot more in control of the offense. Yeah. Random question though, do you think that's the right thing? I feel like Lamar Jackson looked at the second, and there were 2 different halves. First half, he looked very composed, ready to go. You could see almost like an anger from him. He wanted this game to win bad. And then the second half, when it kind of fell apart a little bit, he started falling back on his same traits. G-Mike, what's your thoughts on how Lamar Jackson performed this game?
I think he performed great, man. I think he performed amazingly with the stuff that they were giving to him. It sucks when you're going out there and you're trying to play make and trying to get these receivers the balls. You're trying to run the offense. You're trying to get the running backs to get some yards on their rushes when your offensive line is not out there playing the way that they're supposed to be playing. They're supposed to be one of the top 5 offenses in the league. Yep. And they're out there playing like JV against varsity with the defensive line. That KC defensive line was looking crazy. They were looking like all of them were Pro Bowlers. Yep. Like, dude, it was bad. It was bad. And then that last drive that Lamar had to take.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We definitely got to get to that because that's kind of what I'm getting at. And I've always, my stance on Lamar is that I don't want him in the clutch. I think that he is probably the greatest athlete in his big 3.0 with his size and his speed. I just don't trust him when it matters.
But see,
he brought the ball down. He brought the ball down, and they literally the one pass that he should have got to.
So we're looking at right here. We're looking at right here the play that happened right here. This play was more Isaiah Likely than Lamar Jackson. The play was broken. They were so shocked that the ball even got out. I feel like that they kind of stopped even playing, and he was able to make the move. Great move at the end of there. But if you take that play away out of that situation, the Ravens got dominated.
Yeah, but then if you push back though on it a little bit, like you see, like when they're driving the ball down and they have to score. Literally, that last play of the game. Great pass, perfect spot. The only thing that was not perfect about it was his receiver's position. Like if Likely was able to like toe tap it at the end there inside, like by the slimmest of margin, that's we don't know how that game is going to turn out. But that was again a great play by Lamar. Again, he's getting rushed left, right, and center. He's having to improvise and to make that throw that accurate. And again, if his receiver just kept his feet in, we got a whole new ball game.
But I don't even think that they got dominated. They lost by a touchdown. How did they get dominated? Like the defensive line and the offensive line.
Chris Jones was literally telling people to move out the way. I got this guy. I'm getting this guy. So Chris Jones by himself dominated them on the offensive line. I will give you the offensive line played like shit. I will give you that one. Yeah. That's without going on there. But I mean, that's what I'm kind of getting at, I guess, is that without that broken play that happened, that was like a 70-yard touchdown or something along those lines. What did the Ravens do offensively the entire game? I mean, they didn't do much. And I mean, granted, yes, the offensive line did play well, but Lamar Jackson was running around doing Lamar Jackson things, and I I don't know. I just wasn't sold on the Ravens as much, and I think that offensive line is going to haunt them for a long time. And the other part it comes down to, I feel like, with what I was getting at with Lamar, is you take that last drive. Now, granted, that last throw when he scrambled out, and it was just by literally like a shoelace. Amazing play. Amazing. Absolutely cannot take that away from right accurate pass. But it took all the. What about the passes prior to that, where you had two wide open guys that you just flat out didn't make the throw? The offensive line actually did give him the time. Lamar Jackson panicked and overthrew him.
Well, one of them that you're talking about, the one to likely, that was a horrible throw that should have been.
I mean, there was two of them. There was back to back that he had the chance to do it with time left in the game.
No, the second one he was getting pressured. He got rushed and he had to throw the ball across his body to try to get it. And he explained it after the game. He said that he saw Bateman, and then right when he was about to throw the ball, he sees Zay, so he tried to change his trajectory, and that's why the ball went past Zay and it didn't go in front of him. But even then, when you're a receiver and you get into the pocket like that you're wide open, that there's no one around you, you need to sit. Sit. Do not continue running, because if you continue running, then the quarterback has to shift himself and try to throw the ball to where you're running to. And next thing you know, the safety or the corner that's playing on the right side can come and get the interception. When you sit, it's easier to make the throw right into your numbers, and you're just going to be there catching the ball like if nothing happened. Easy play, easy touchdown, tie the game, go into overtime.
Yeah, man, my boy G Mike with that analysis right there, bro. I love it, man.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking out there. He definitely overthrew. He threw him over here, and this is the play you're talking about here. This was the if you're not watching on YouTube,
look, getting pressured, tries to throw it.
That one's a bad one right there.
Well, you don't see it there. You don't see it on that play. But
so maybe so we got one. Here's another attempt here. They had 3 attempts here, and he's scrambled around.
Oh, this is the touchdown. This is the touchdown that they called back.
Yep. But see, my thing is, like, you see him scrambling around a lot. Like, how much of this, as far as the domination? Yeah, if you want to argue the Chiefs' D-line dominated the Ravens' O-line, for sure. But how much can you then put that on Lamar Jackson and say, like, oh yeah, no, like this is his, like, they're dominating and this is all on him? Like, dude, your offensive line's got to block for you. I don't care how great of a player you are. If they don't block and you're getting blitzed left, right, and center, you're not going to succeed. You're not going to win ball games. And it's going to look like, yeah, he got dominated. But then you look at everything else he did. The pass before that errant throw, it was a dime straight to him, and he's still getting blitzed and rushed left, right, and center. So it's one of those things where, like, I do get it. Like, as a team, like, you got to be able to dominate in the trenches. But, for what he had to do, I thought it was a great game by Lamar. And I think that, again, if certain plays go a certain way, just by a millimeter, by inches, it'll be a whole new ball game.